What's good, guys? This is Unjolly Ranchers diving into the shadows of life's unsaid tales. And before we get into this, I've been really sick for almost a week now, so I apologize if I sound like a garbage disposal that has AIDS or some shit. But anyways, today's story is I'd like to say unbelievable, but this is actually only part one. There's no way I can really explain it without spoilers, so we're just gonna get into it. Now, this story takes place back in late 2020 when your boy Z was 17 years old. I had recently gotten my own studio apartment, and like some of you might be asking, bro, you're not even an adult yet. Like, how do you have your own place at 17? The reason though is because like I dropped out of high school in ninth grade and I got my GED when I was in military school, so it gave me like a bit of a kickstart. Anyways, it was late August at the time, and I was dating this goth girl. We're just gonna call her Jude for the video's sake. Anyways, Jude and I were chilling in the studio apartment, listening to music and just vibing, when my upstairs neighbor Ben came down, and he said he had a few people over and he wanted to know if we wanted to come up and kick it. Now, Jude was very antisocial and didn't vibe with most people, but myself growing up in this area, I was always bored, so there was never anything to do, so I was like, yeah, I'm down to hang out, let's go. So I told Ben I'd be up there in a few minutes, I just had to grab a few things. He told me just to walk in when I got there. Now, Ben's apartment was actually pretty big, not just a studio. He actually had an upstairs that went to the top of his roof in the middle of town. Anyways, I grabbed my pipe, vape, a little bit of weed, and then I gave Jude a kiss and told her, I was like, yo, just text me if you need anything. I'll probably be back in like an hour or two. She gave me a little smile and said, sounds good, babe, you have fun. So I walked out the door, turned the corner, walked up the stairs, and stepped into Ben's crib. He greeted me with a big smile saying, hey, glad you made it. Want a beer? Before I could even answer though, I noticed something crazy. There were 3 other people there, but I knew one of them. And never would I imagine running into her when I showed up. It was my stepmom's younger sister, Hennessy. She yelled, dude, what are you doing here? I can't believe it. So I told her I actually had the place below Ben for a few months and that I'm always hanging out up here. And like while I was talking to Hennessy, I just held out my hand over to Ben and I was like nodding my head. I was like, yeah, give me the beer, give me the beer. And he was just waiting for me. At this point, Henny asked me a question straight out of Phineas and Ferb and said, aren't you a little young to be hanging out with 24 to 30-year-olds? So you know I had to pull out that unforgettable line, why yes, yes I am. Now the other girl standing right by her man ended up spitting her beer all over the table when she, when she heard me say that shit. Dying laughing, she asked me, wait, how old are you? 17, but most of my friends are like 25. That's when Ben stepped in. Yeah, he's actually really mature for his age. He's like 27 in my eyes. I gave him that nod of respect, and that's when Henny's drunk ass said, what? You're kidding me. You really think he's mentally older than I am? Ben and I just looked at each other, and we were laughing so hard. Like, not obviously. The other girl then asked me, yo, what kind of music do you like? So I just held out my hand. She ended up giving me her phone and I queued like 3 songs up. I started out with Dear Maria Count Me In, then So What You Want by the Beastie Boys, and then I ended it with Sunflower Seeds by Bryce Vine. Everyone was vibing to the music and they're all looking at me with a new understanding. The other girl was like, Ben, you were so right to invite him up. He's more grown than we expected. Now, this whole time, we were all drinking lots of beer, ripping the dab pen, and just having a great time. I'd known Henny since I was 14, but like never really got to hang out with her before in a social setting. It was always around our family, so this was already a crazy night in my opinion, but it just gets worse. Now, Ben ended up bringing up my electric Segway bike that he let me have while he was living there. Ben makes like 6 figures, so it was no big deal for him. Especially with my Ford Focus needing a transmission at the time, he was just happy to help. The only problem was everyone but me was completely shit-faced, and Henny spoke up saying, oh my god, you have an electric motorcycle? You've gotta let me try it. Now, there's no way in hell I wanted her riding that thing. I mean, it could do 40 miles an hour, and she was plastered. But like, technically, Ben was the owner. He was just letting me use it because he's basically rich in my eyes, and he didn't use it much. So he told me to go grab it and we could all try it out. So as soon as I walked downstairs, everyone followed shortly behind me, all yelling super excited, hype as hell. So I walked in the house, Jay's face lit up, saying, oh, you're home. I gave her a little hug and said, Not yet. They want to try the bike out, so I'm gonna watch them and make sure nobody dies, and I'll be right back in. So I grabbed the bike and walked it out my tiny ass little studio apartment, which is technically just a bedroom with a bathroom. Like, there's not even a kitchen, but whatever. As I walked out, everyone got even more excited, saying, "Oh my god, it looks like a dirt bike." Yeah, it's fast, so let me walk you through how to ride it real quick. I explained the speed options, braking, handling, etc., then hopped on and popped a wheelie, racing around the parking lot faster than a piece of cheese on a broken elevator. Then Ben rode it. He almost hit a few curbs. He pulled back in, and then he let the couple try it together. But as soon as they got on, and they were about to take off, the dude lifts his feet off the ground, starts to give it a little gas, and they fall right over. They just fell right over. Honestly though, I wasn't even upset. It was hilarious. Completely made my night. Like, it was great. After the couple hopped off the bike and picked it up off the ground and put it on the kickstand, they told me that they were actually going to go over to the bar with Ben, and that me and Hennessy should meet him over there once we're done doing this. So I was just like, yeah man, we'll meet you over there after this. Order me a shot of Jack Daniels. You know what, make it 2 shots. I mean, I'm only 17, and if they're really expecting me to go over there knowing I'm 17, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have them order me a couple of shots. I'm gonna be a little shithead. But now it is Hennessy's turn, and this is where I'm kind of shitting my pants a little bit, because I knew Hennessy. She's never ridden a motorcycle, she's never ridden a dirt bike, and she was the drunkest one out of everybody. I don't know how plastered she was, but I was just like, hey, if this is what Ben wants for his bike, whatever. I hope it doesn't get crashed and totaled, but we're gonna let her try it, and I really hope she doesn't die. So I go over to the bike and I put the speed setting down, and she sees me do it, and she's like, "Oh, why are you doing that? No, 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 I'm gonna race this bitch." I'm like, okay. So I mean, she just turned it back up. I wasn't gonna fight her. She's drunk. I don't want her to get angry. So I just stepped back. I'm like, this isn't a good idea. Like, I don't think you should ride this while you're drunk. Maybe we should do this like in the morning or something if you're still around. And she was like, no, I'll be fine. I'm gonna do great. So, she ended up hopping on the bike. And when she did though, now it's only 1 gear. You just give it throttle and you go. But she turned it all the way up, max speed. And when she gassed it, she went full throttle and she ended up flying up, couldn't steer properly, came back down, slanted at an angle, lost control, and then crashing into a pole, and then fell off the bike and rolled forward. And I'm just trying to hold back my laughter. Not very well, obviously, but like I run up to her and then got serious. I was like, dude, are you okay? Oh my god. And she's like holding her shoulder and she was like, dude, I messed myself up. And I just looked at her. I'm like, that's what I said. I warned you about this. I didn't think you should drive it. You're drunk as hell. And she was like, yeah, you're probably right. Can we just go upstairs? Can you help me patch my bandage? So I was like, yeah, man, I got you. Let's just head upstairs. So we get into the bathroom and she's like, all right, let me show you. And I was expecting her to like lift up her short sleeve shirt and show me her shoulder, or maybe lift it down from her neck, but I was completely wrong. This is where the story takes a turn for the worst, ladies and gentlemen. She grabbed the bottom of her shirt, lifted it off, titties popped out bouncing in my face, and I'm just like, oh shit, that's titties. Oh fuck, oh boy. So I'm just trying to like look away, and she's like, no, look, is it fucked up? Is it fucked up? And I'm like, yeah, this is fucked up. Cover yourself, please. Like, I have a girlfriend and she's technically family. I don't want to be looking at that. And she ended up not covering up, so I just kind of like held my hand out and like censored it in real life. And I looked at her shoulder. I'm like, dude, you are fine. You have a scrape like a toddler gets when he's riding a bicycle with no training wheels. What's wrong with you? She got a little bit whiny and she's just like, well, I don't know, I'm drunk, so what if it's gonna feel a lot worse in the morning? I don't know, I just wanted someone to look at it. And like, that makes sense, but she did not have to lift up her whole shirt and then show me her titties in the process. I still kind of wondered about that for a really long time, but in part 2, you will Part 2 is a pretty juicy one. I don't even know if I'm allowed to upload that one on YouTube. I might get in trouble for that one. So yeah, after we were in the bathroom, she finally put her shirt back on, and I ended up just having her walk over to the couch. I'm like, alright, lay down. I grabbed her a glass of water. I'm like, drink this, and I put on a show for her. I'm like, you chill out, you feel better, go to sleep. Don't throw up on the couch. And then I went back downstairs to my house, walked in, and Jade's just sitting there bouncing on the bed, excited, like, oh my gosh, you're home, hooray. And she could see the look in my eye, and she was like, what's up? What happened? And I just look at her like, I don't know what happened. So she crashed, and the first thing out of her mouth was, oh my gosh, is your bike okay? But yeah, I was like, nah, the bike is fine, but Hennessy ended up hurting her shoulder. So, you know, I went up there with her. She wanted me to look at it, and she was like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, you check, you know, helping your homie. And so when we were in the bathroom, though, you know, I expected her to, you know, lift up her shirt in a certain way to not be revealing, but she ended up just lifts her shirt up, pops the titties out, and I'm just over there like, dude, what the fuck is going on? Somebody help, I need help. But no, she just took her shirt off, titties bouncing out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I need to call Chris Hansen right now. And Jade looked pissed. I mean, she knew of Hennessy, and she knew that that was my step aunt, and she was furious. Like, she wanted to go up there and confront her, but I was like, dude, she is so drunk right now. She's either passed out or she's not going to remember you talking to her. So just wait till tomorrow morning. And from that point on, there was major beef between Jade and Hennessy. I definitely get where that's coming from, because even I was curious if my step aunt was trying to make a move on me or not. I don't know. And yeah, that's basically it for this one. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you've ever had a family member show you their, you know what, never mind. Don't leave any comments on this one. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more crazy life stories. Stay tuned for more on Jolly Tales. Until next time, peace.